We're going to begin today with a story of dysfunction, of drama with the Browns, something that we're used to. Before we do that, McNuggets, do you want to read the Tri-C?
We do. We
promo?
cannot talk about Jadeveon Clowney without telling you guys that our Browns Talk today is brought to us by Cuyahoga Community College. Tri-C supports their students financially, professionally, and personally, opening up doors of endless possibilities. Tri-C is where the future starts, and it starts right now. Classes begin January 17th, 2023.
There you go. So you still have another 11 days to get registered and get your life moving in a different direction. Yeah, it is a smart move. Particularly now.
Yes. Get your 2-year degree from Tri-C and save a
money.
ton of money. And then go to 4-year college after that.
Transfer those credits.
That's right.
Yeah, it's becoming more and more popular to go this route.
Yeah,
and why
it's so
wouldn't
expensive
it be?
to go to 4-year
When you look at the average cost of a 4-year institution,
it's nuts.
My goodness, I don't know how families are doing it.
Listen,
I honestly don't know how.
How much would Maryland be if she didn't have a scholarship?
I'd guess in the 50s.
I mean, you're in the 50s, $60,000.
I mean, it's insane.
Right.
Tri-C is incredibly affordable.
The education system, man.
It needs
it sucks. Bad. But you get a good education at Tri-C. Some of their program, I know their nursing program is really good.
Sure.
My wife used to work as a student advisor on taking classes.
Tri-C's one of the best jewels in this county.
It is. It doesn't get a lot of hype, but they do a great job.
And have you in first class facilities, first class. This thing is not what Tri-C was back. This is legit. Right?
So check them out. If you're sitting here watching us and thinking, what's next in my life? Hey.
Right.
Make a bold move and reach out to Tri-C. You have 11 days before the new semester starts. Okay, Browns news. I know this is a surprise to no one. Perhaps that it happened while the season was still ongoing. But yesterday, after we had left the air, Jadeveon Clowney had spoken to Mary Kay Cabot, and she wrote a piece on Cleveland.com. I recommend you read it. It's thorough. It's well done, as usual, when MKC puts something out there. Jadeveon had some pretty strong things to say about the Browns. I think you've built some quotes on Tagboard. Essentially, if we just surmise what he said,
we'll take it.
Not happy with where the Browns are right now and how they use
just
them.
a couple. It's a little tough to read, but he says the root cause of his unhappiness, which has lingered throughout the season, is that he feels the Browns have removed him from favorable matchups at various points throughout the year and put Myles Garrett against the lesser offensive lineman instead, just to showcase their star defensive end. He says, quote, "You're all trying to get somebody into the Hall of Fame when all that matters is winning. Everybody got here for a reason. We can all make plays. I know I am." Let's take the next one, Anthony. And he had one more. Pretty much says they're doing everything they can to get Garrett's stats and taking him out of his own personal gains. The Browns, he said, have, quote, "got their own guys. I ain't one of them, so it's time for me to get my exit slip." And then when asked about switching positions and moving along the defensive line, he says, "I'm not doing that. Bleep, I'm old, I've done my job, I don't have time for that, I've made my money, I'm doing this because I love the game, but keep doing things like that makes me not love this game." Essentially, calling out the coaching staff for not putting him in the best position.
He's going out with a flamethrower. I want to start with
It was a public
bull
exit
on this.
interview, essentially.
Exactly.
Well, let me say
he
first,
said he went from 95%. We can upgrade that to 99.9% because the news this morning was the Browns have sent him home.
Jay,
Likely he's played his last game.
First of all, let me say kudos to you for crediting Mary Kay Cabot for that article from Cleveland.com, as most people do, unlike some entities in this town that don't want to give people credit for the work they do. They want to just pretend the other entities don't exist. I'm not going to name any names. They know who they are. Also, Mike put up tweets from D-Man, who also works for Cleveland.com, and Emmett, who's on ESPN Cleveland. So shout out to those guys for their transcripts. Anyway, the point of what you're saying of this thing is that I'm okay sometimes when players call out coaches or whatever, but I think Jadeveon Clowney. Now, this is the Browns look bad here too.
Sure.
But Clowney looks really bad.
I agree.
I think he looks like a fool. Number one, he's talking about, well, it's all about winning. Well, he said he wouldn't go in the game last week because at the last second, he claims, they wanted to switch his spot with Myles Garrett. Well, if it's all about winning, Jadeveon, then why wouldn't you go in the game? Even if you think the coaches are putting you in a tough spot. If you're really trying to win, then do it. Number two, is that a bad thing? I don't know that any of us have studied the numbers on whether he's actually right that Myles Garrett is getting the easier matchup. But if Myles Garrett is the best player, it seems to me, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, you play D-line, G, that I'd want to put Myles Garrett on the weakest offensive lineman because he's my best player.
He's your best chance of getting home.
Exactly. So why wouldn't I do that? Jadeveon Clowney was supposed to be a great pass rusher out of college. He's never been. He's never had double-digit sacks in his entire career.
He almost did last year.
Almost did last year. He's a good player, but he's not Myles Garrett.
No.
Nobody's saying he sucks or he's terrible. He's a good player. He's a good run stopper for a DN, but he's not a superstar. Myles Garrett is much better than he is. It's that simple. I don't think he intended it this way. I'll be fair to him, but I think he in a way insults Myles Garrett with these comments. I don't think,
how so?
because he's making it seem like, oh, they're making it. Everybody just wants Myles Garrett to look good. It's not about winning. And even though he's saying it's not Myles Garrett's fault that this happened, you're saying he's a part of this conspiracy for him to win and get stats, or not win, for him to get stats and get into the Hall of Fame, maybe, but that nobody cares about winning except for him. And that's ludicrous. Again, the Browns don't look good here either. Because this is now the second, because Myles Garrett had the thing where he got suspended. They look bad and look dysfunctional, and that's on Stefanski ultimately. And I have lost a lot of faith in Stefanski.
Over this?
Just in general, over the last month or so, I've lost some faith.
Yeah.
I still wouldn't fire him, as I've said consistently, but I've lost a lot of faith in him. I could understand. I am now totally understand why people want him fired, and I hadn't even gone that far yet. But in the end, I think Clowney looks the worst here, and he should definitely not play this last game, which he's not.
Okay. Clowney, obviously, as a player, somebody you say some things that you shouldn't say. You can think them, but you shouldn't say them.
Right.
And this is a case of that, right? Mary Kay just happened to be at the right place at the right time. He gave her the full bucket.
Gave her that steak dinner.
Right, so here's
baked potatoes and everything.
She's going to take it. She got to do her job right up. Right?
Gave her that
so
word.
Clowney got to look good. So Clowney not playing on Sunday. That's a given, right?
Yeah.
But, again, Bullet really speaks to this, right? Because think about this. Maybe there's some merits and truth in here, right? Now, I don't care if you're the best player. I don't care who you're going against. You're the best on the best, right? Don't give me no weak matchup. I want to see the best, right? So if part of it is true, it really speaks to how weak the Browns are, the coaching staff is, right? Because it doesn't matter who I line up
At one
against.
point, though, Brad, I understand Bull's point that if you can finagle it to get your best against their weakest, ultimately it does give you the best chance of getting
Isn't
home.
that what the Steelers did last year?
Of course that's what they
They
did.
went TJ
They
Watt
went
against
right on
James
Hudson
Hudson.
and killed him all game.
I'm not saying that on some cases, case by case, the best just going to be the best. That's what they're going to do. That's who they are. That's how they built.
Against double teams or the best
That's how
offensive lineman, it doesn't matter.
That's who they are. That's how they separate themselves from the good from the great. But I will tell you this, what it speaks to, and I've been saying it for weeks, nobody wants to buy what I'm selling. Stefanski got no control of this thing. It's out of control over there. These commentaries, these statements, these things, we're going to talk about keeping this thing is out of control, right? And they talk about it, listen to people all across this town. Bring them back for another year, right? And I'm going to submit to, okay, it's probably going to happen. He's over his head. He's over his head, right? And it's coming out of the dam on all sides.
G. Bush, you're nodding your head, so I think you're co-signing Brad here.
I said earlier in the year, these are symptoms, right? These are symptoms of a larger problem. I've been in locker rooms.
Oh, my God.
And the symptoms are, that's why I was so shocked and appalled of what a defensive coach said about the situation with the Bengals when they
that
lost.
was embarrassing.
When you do that, what happens is you lose. People start to think that they're going to go to your football DNA. Like, you don't know the game. And if your coach is directing you and you don't know the game, you lose all respect for it because now you acted out. So if you look through the timetable, the Browns under Stefanski have had lots of these little fires, right? But that winning season did a lot. Think of how many players talked out of turn. We could go one by one. Well, first, we had the OBJ thing, right? Second, you had Baker Mayfield. He said, I'm playing, I ain't playing, back and forth. Then you had Kareem Hunt. I ain't getting the ball, I ain't getting touches. You had Jarvis Landry. I don't know what's going on around here. I got to get up out of here. Don't even give me no money. Then you come back this year.
I wouldn't count Landry because he was already gone.
But he
But they had a chance to bring him back at a significantly less price, and he ended up going to New Orleans.
We got more
for even
players.
less money.
So we got some more.
Keep coming.
Now you got Myles Garrett.
Yep.
He's like, he just got in trouble. Then you got Jadeveon Clowney, right? So look at these. And the common denominator is all of those names. Every one of those guys have been Pro Bowlers.
Top tier
at one point in time in the league.
Not Baker.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this then. Do you think, G. Bush, that they smell weakness in the water? Because
no question.
You don't see Pro Bowlers with Bill Belichick acting out like this. So are they just sort of taking the temperature in the room, looking at Stefanski and maybe his lack of an iron fist kind of leadership and saying, I can muscle him around and get what I want?
I don't think, Jay, I think it's this, and you correct me if I'm wrong. It's irritating them.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Right.
So they're basically like the kid that's acting out, begging their parent for discipline.
Yes, you're irritating me because they know it's not supposed to go that way.
Like if you, it's like your kid being in a grocery line, and the mom gets in an argument with another mom, and you looking at your mom like, come on, not in here. Come on, Nancy. Really, we're gonna do this again? Come on, just get in the car. You got to be in the adult room. So now you look at these guys, and what he's saying to them is, and I can understand to a certain extent. It's a lack of communication. All you got to do, you got to communicate to get the best out of people. If you know you got a Jadeveon Clowney, you got an open door policy. You tell them, come in, hey, look, man, our goal is to get not only Myles Garrett together, we're going to try to get you together too.
But G, let me ask you this. And I don't disagree with really anything you said. And it's all fair criticism of Stefanski. I agree with you.
Okay.
All fair. I don't agree about firing, but I agree with the overall criticism. But don't you think Clowney's out of line?
Yeah.
But both can be true.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
And we know he's a mercenary.
Yes, totally.
He's a hired gun.
He's looking for that contract.
Yeah, whoever got the bag, he don't pledge allegiance to nobody.
I'm loyal to nobody.
Yeah. Mike said this in our phone call, and he's right. Clowney's basically saying, I want to get paid this year. It's not my fault I only have 2 sacks.
Sure.
That's what's going on here.
And Clowney, here's the thing, too. Clowney understands his limitations as well.
Yeah.
Clowney definitely knows he's not, his best skill set is stopping the run and penetration. He knows he's not an elite pass rusher.
Right.
So he says, you got to do some special things to get me some sacks. You got to put me a couple places because that ain't my forte. The same way you standing Myles Garrett up, where my stand-up game at? Put me in position, right? Use me a little better, right? And by the way, I forgot another person. David Njoku was talking out of turn before he got his money, too.
That's right.
So Stefanski's, I never really thought about this until G, you put it all together, but Stefanski's relationship track record with the best players is not good.
Jay, I said this 2 weeks ago. Y'all didn't hear me. Some people can't coach quality talent. They just can't.
You did say that.
They
the
can't.
top tier.
They're
Does
better
it become
off
more
with lesser
psychology
talent.
at some point?
Well, because you have to treat top talent differently, right?
Yeah.
They're alpha dogs. It's different. You got to handle them differently. You can't treat them like Billy Smith over here. It's not going to work.
Look, Jay, you know this. Look, you don't work with top names in this game as anchors. You know, you in Berman. You got Skip. You got Stephen A. All them people over there. You know good and well you got to treat them all differently.
There's different rules. Yeah,
it's
no
different
question.
rules.
Here, this is how life
That's
works.
how it works.
This is how life works.
But that's the problem with
Let me
this time.
Let me give you a good.
Then I got a question
Here's
for
a good
Jim.
example. The Bulls,
Right.
The Jordan rules.
We all pros, right? We going to fly on the same plane. We going to the same hotel. Well, we get to the hotel. We got me, Scotty, Horace, everybody. We got regular rooms with just a king bed in it.
No room service neither.
Jordan up top in the penthouse, bi-level suites with
Palatial.
pianos. I'm like, how is this even occurring? I thought we were all on the same.
Did you not see that man? Did you not see him running around on boys?
In Jordan's case, he was so great, and he was clearly the elixir that I imagine there might have been some animosity, but at the end of the year, when you put that ring on your finger,
Jay,
it went away.
This was in year 3. We hadn't won nothing.
Oh, no.
By the way, I know that's the way it is, but that's a major problem in society. It's never going to change.
It is.
Nobody should get special treatment.
It is.
I know it's silly to say,
but that's how it goes.
Yeah.
But you have to acquiesce to that.
By the way, Amari Cooper's about to have his best season in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, no question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you about something that Adam said, and it's curious to me because I've never really spent much time thinking about this, but you played the position. You played on that line. Mm-hmm. I imagine there's two different strategies and schools of thought. You could try to where you can manipulate the matchup, put your best player on their weakest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then there's another school of thought that Brad talked about. No, if you're the best, give me their best. I'm still going to get home. How did coaches that you played for handle those kind of matchups?
Well, they handled it. Well, the first thing they did was it was a unit. See, we never differentiated. It was a battalion. It's a unit. We all understood a certain thing. The defensive tackles in the middle, they never going to get them type of sack numbers, right?
Right.
So we asking them to be pressure. We asking them to do certain things, right? And so they understand that. But what our coaching staff used to do was highlight those things. They'll say, hey, Myles Garrett got 15 sacks. We've been moving around to get the best matchup. But you know what? One of the unsung guys, Jadeveon Clowney. He gets the worst. He gets to the toughest matchup every night. It's like you play small forward. There's some people on your team. Scottie Pippen got the hardest assignment every night and didn't get the level that Jordan got, right? And you can even see with Scottie. Scottie was upset during the Bulls thing.
Scottie was a big wuss. Brad said that a million times. He's never said that. I'll say it.
But the way you work that's why I've always been very critical of the way Joe Woods operates. He should have been communicating, saying, guy, hey, come on, Clowney, what position you want to be best put in?
In fairness to Joe Woods, who I obviously think should be fired, we don't know that he didn't do that.
Well, proof is in the pudding.
Let me ask this before we turn the page on this topic.
Yeah.
Because we're going to ask this question about two of the coordinators here in a second.
Okay.
If there's more dysfunction, more of these stories, and this is when they leak out, exit interviews. After week 16 or now 17, that's when players start to sing like birds. If there is more dysfunction in the media about inner working relationships between coach and player, does that change your mind on Stefanski coming back? Because you're the only one.
These guys have already made their mind.
I'm pretty clear.
Yeah,
you are.
I think it could sway me, and it most importantly could sway Jimmy Haslam. He's easily swayable.
You
know,
the king of knee jerk.
Ultimately,
I'm just a duke.
Ultimately, the successful franchises are patient. Generally, right?
Typically, they have.
Now, that's if they have the right guy. Now, if you don't have the right guy, you shouldn't be patient.
Could there be more dysfunction that comes out that might lead you to believe, this guy isn't the right guy?
I think it's possible we hear something similar to what Clowney said from Myles Garrett.
For me, what would sway me is if Myles Garrett comes out and says, I want to be moved.
And he might.
And I'm not
Yeah.
reporting anything.
No.
I'm not reporting anything, but that request
clear.
would not bowl me over.
That clock is ticking.
Be clear. He pseudo said it.
He's already said it. He didn't already said it.
He did.
He didn't already say it. That clock is ticking.
But one other thing one last thing quickly on the setup of the defensive line. This is how I think of it. You tell me if I'm wrong. If I put, let's say the right tackle sucks. You're playing, I don't know who the Steelers' right tackle is, but let's say he sucks. And let's say their left tackle is really good. If I put Myles Garrett on the right tackle, they've got to double team him, right?
That's true.
Because that guy can't handle Myles Garrett.
Unless he's a superior talent to Myles' level.
Right, but I'm saying, let's say the right tackle sucks, the left tackle's great.
Yeah.
I put Myles or let's say the right tackle, maybe that sucks, but is below average.
Sure.
And the left tackle's really good.
Okay.
If I put Myles Garrett on the right tackle, I have to double team or Myles Garrett's going to kill me.
Yeah.
But if I put Clowney on the right tackle, well, Clowney's not great. He's pretty good. But the right tackle is more likely to be able to hold his own against Clowney, whereas the left tackle, even with a great Myles Garrett, is not going to need to double team as often. Sure. So in my mind, if I put the best pass rusher on the weakest offense, and some teams, their right tackle and left tackle are close to as good or
so you're forcing them to shift the way they allocate resources.
If I have to use an extra blocker, that negatively affects the offense.
And that speaks, G, to your point of you look at it as a battalion. It should never be looked at as individual matchups. Really, at the end of the day, they're chess pieces, but the game is our unit versus your unit, and I think ultimately the coach's decision should be this. What gives our unit the best chance against that unit?
And if you look at it, one of the things that the Cleveland Browns should be built and predicated on is speed. You look at you got your Andrew, you got JOK. To me, that would be the combination of my packages. I'd have JOK on the line of scrimmage every play. You don't know if he's dropping. You don't know if he's coming.
Like Micah Parsons?
Yes. I got them all moving around. Clowney and Myles Garrett would never line up in the same place, right? As long as when the snap comes, you know where to go. Now what I can do is I can confuse people, and you can't run away from those three people. Sometimes JOK gonna come free. Sometimes Myles Garrett gonna come free. And God forbid that you bring some heat. God forbid you bring a couple. Now, so what he's saying is, look, don't line me up where everybody know we coming.
Yeah.
It's 4 of us on 5.
Right.
They can chip. We not getting no easy gravy sacks.
You get no layups.
We not getting no layups.
No layups.
Think about it when you got to hit mid-range jumpers contested the whole game.
I'm gonna get killed.
You're gonna get killed.
The defense to me needs a complete overhaul in terms of personnel on the front 7, and the entire coaching staff has got to be
that
blown
brings
out.
us